Good morning to all. The topic of today's lecture is Clashes-Mossette equation. In this class, we are going to see what is internal field or local field. From that, how we can derive Clashes-Mossette equation. First, we'll see when a dielectric material is placed in an external electric field, it produces an induced dipole moment. These two fields are acting at any point inside the dielectric materials are macroscopic electric field, which is due to external electrical field. Electrical field due to electrical dipole moment. These two forces are acting inside the dielectric material. This long range Coulomb field produced due to dipole, which is known as internal field or local field. This internal field is responsible for polarization of each atom or molecule in this solid. Lorentz method to find the internal field. The dielectric material is uniformly polarized by placing it in between two plates of a parallel plate capacitor, which is shown in figure. We are going to keep the dielectric material inside the two plates of parallel plate capacitor in order to get uniformly polarization. In this case, the internal field at the atom site is considered to be made up of following four components: E1, E2, E3 and E4, where E internal is equal to E1 plus E2 plus E3 plus E4, whereas E1 is electrical field due to the charges on the plates of the capacitor. E2 is due to the electrical field polarized charges on the plate surface of dielectric. E3, that is electrical field, is due to polarized charges induced on the surface of the imaginary spherical cavity. E4, that is electrical field due to permanent dipoles of atoms inside the spherical cavity, which is considered. We can take E is equal to E1 plus E2 instead of E1 plus E2 plus E3 plus E4, because the electrical field externally applied and the electrical field induced on the plane surface of the dielectric can be considered as a single field, that is E. So, we can consider a dielectric that is highly symmetric. The electrical field due to dipoles present inside the imaginary cavity will cancel each other. Therefore, the electrical field due to permanent dipole, that is E4, is equal to E0. So, the equation 1 becomes E internal is equal to E plus E3, where E is E1 plus E2. Now we can calculate what is E3. Let us consider a small area ds on the surface of a spherical cavity, that is a material which is chosen for polarization. It is conformed within an angle d theta at an angle theta in the direction of electrical field E. Polarization is parallel to E. So we are taking Pn is the component of polarization perpendicular to the area ds. Let us consider a small area ds on the surface of spherical cavity. Polarization is parallel to E, so Pn is polarization perpendicular to the area ds. That is, Pn is equal to P cos theta, where Q dash is the charge on the area ds. So, polarization is also defined as the surface charges per unit area. So, the above equation becomes Q dash divided by ds, where Pn is equal to P cos theta, that is equal to Q dash divided by ds. So, Q dash is equal to P cos theta into ds. Electrical field intensity at C due to Q dash is given by, which is from Coulomb's law, E is equal to Q dash divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. By substituting the value of Q dash in the above equation, we get E is equal to P cos theta ds divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. This electric field intensity is along the radius r and it can be resolved into two components, that is Ex and Ey. The component of intensity parallel to the electric field direction is Ex, that is equal to E cos theta. By substituting for E from the above equation, we get Ex is equal to P cos theta ds into cos theta divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r squared. By simplification, we get P cos squared theta ds divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r squared. In case of y direction, the component of intensity perpendicular to the field direction is Ey is equal to E sin theta. The perpendicular components are in opposite direction, so they cancel each other. Hence, the parallel components alone are in the consideration. Now, we consider a ring area dA which is obtained by resolving ds about AB. Ring area is equal to circumference into thickness. By substituting the value, we get dA is equal to 2 pi r squared sin theta d theta. Electric field intensity, which is due to elemental ring, dA is equal to P cos squared theta dA divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r squared. Substituting the equation, we get E is equal to P cos squared theta divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r squared 2 pi r squared sin theta d theta. Electrical field intensity is due to the charges present in the whole sphere is obtained by integrating the above equation within the limit 0 to pi. This electric field is taken as E3, that is E3 is equal to integral 0 to pi P cos squared theta sin theta d theta divided by 2 epsilon naught. By getting the integral value, E3 is equal to P divided by 3 epsilon naught. Substituting the above equation, will get E internal is equal to E plus P divided by 3 epsilon naught. E internal is the internal field or Lorentz field. The above equation shows that E internal is different from E, that is E1 plus E2. The local field intensity E internal is larger than the macroscopic field intensity E. Hence, the molecules are more effectively polarized. From this, we can derive Clasius-Mosset equation. Let n be the number of molecules per unit volume and alpha be the molecular polarizability of the material. Then total polarization, that is P is equal to n alpha E internal, where P is polarization, n is number of molecules per volume, alpha is molecular polarizability, E internal is local field. By substituting the value of E internal, we get E internal is equal to P divided by n alpha. By simplification, we get E is equal to P divided by epsilon minus epsilon naught. Lorentz field is given as E internal is equal to E plus P by 3 epsilon naught. By substituting the values and simplifying, we get the final equation, that is Lorentz field. That is n alpha divided by 3 epsilon naught is equal to epsilon r minus 1 divided by epsilon r plus 2, which is the required Clasius-Mosset relation, which relates the dielectric constant, that is a macroscopic quantity of the material with the polarizability. This Clasius-Mosset equation combines the relationship of a macroscopic quantity and a microscopic quantity, that is dielectric constant and polarizability. In this lecture, we have seen what is Clasius-Mosset equation and the derivation part. Thank you.